Yeah. Okay. What about others? Okay, fine. Okay, so I'll share my screen. So before that, I just need a minute. I'll switch my network. Okay. So can you hear me, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm sharing my screen, and today we'll start with a new topic, formatters. Okay, and after that, we'll see how the filters and sorters we can use in our application in order to filter or sort the data. Okay, so that's all we are going to see in today's lecture. So I'll share my screen. So is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So till yesterday we have seen the expression binding. Okay. So expression binding and I18 also, the resource model. So expression binding is completely similar to the formatters. Okay, so there is a concept of formatters in UI5. So we'll see why we generally use the formatter in case of expression binding. Okay, so there can be a certain condition in place where expression binding can be helpful, and in some cases there might we can generally use the formatters. Okay, but both perform the same things. Okay, same like what we generally saw for the expression binding. For the expression binding, if you want to add some conditions, so we generally do it with the help of expression binding, right? So it same applies with the formatter also. In formatter, but formatter provides a lot of feasibility options to validate the data, and if you want to perform more operation, that you can easily do with the help of formatters. Okay. Okay, so let's begin with the formatter. So what is the formatter generally? Anybody knows, or
Uh,
are you guys heard about this term formatter?
Avik, your voice is breaking.
Is it fine now? So guys, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, please let me know if my voice is breaking. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I'll tell you why we generally use the formatter. Okay, so for example, let's say we have this product.json data. Okay, so same like it performs the same thing what we generally do for the expression binding, but formatter, in the formatter we can write lot of JavaScript code. Okay, so that's why it is a formatter. So we can create a separate file for the formatter, and we can call as many as event handler as possible if you want to validate anything. Okay, or if you want to change the content of the backend property to make the more readable format for the users. So now let's say I think we don't have some couple of properties here for things, so maybe we can. So yesterday we have seen for the quantity, right? So quantity, there might be for the quantity, if the quantities are available, we are able to display the quantity is available, right, in stock. But if the quantity is not available, we are just simply displaying the value as out of stock. So that everything we can do with the help of formatters also. Okay. So it depends on the condition. If you want to add some n number of conditions, so you can use the formatter, or if you want to add only one condition, so we can generally use the expression binding. Okay, so only keep thing in mind that a formatter is similar to the expression binding. Okay, so now, so for adding the formatters, so generally the formatters can be added in in various ways, that we can directly add in the XML file. Okay, and once we add the formatter in XML file, we have to make sure that the whatever the formatter function we are calling, that function must be declared in a formatter file or maybe inside the controller file. Okay, for the means, for example, this is the main page. So for this main page, the associated controller is main page.controller.js. So if I am calling the formatter function, so that formatter function must be it must be defined inside the main page.controller file. Okay, otherwise if you don't want that, so as a best practice, SAP practice, we have to create a separate folder for the formatter, and inside that you can just create a new file as a formatter.js file. Okay, so generally the formatter is a JS file, JavaScript file, so where we generally write a JavaScript code. Okay, so now what I will do, so so as of now we have just seen the expression binding, right? So we are checking the quantity equal to 0, then we are trying to display error or success. So same thing we can do it with the help of a formatter. Okay, so now what I will do, I'll remove all the things. Okay, I'll keep the binding as simple as possible. Okay, so now where we have again added, so we'll add one by one. Okay, so we'll also add this formatter. So now if I want to add the formatter for the quantity, so how the syntax would be, I have to write the path colon in single quotes the product quantity. Okay, and then I have to give comma. Okay, so then I have to write a keyword or the property as a formatter. Okay, then give the colon, and again in single quotes, if I am not creating a separate file for the formatter, then I can directly write dot the formatter function name. Okay, so in this case I'll simply say it's a quantity state handler. Okay, so this is the formatter function. So what will happen when I run this application, so automatically for each row item this function will be triggered. Okay, and based on that, whatever we write logic inside this quantity state handler function, so it will return a value, and that value will be displayed for this property. Okay, so that value will be applied for this number state property. So generally number state property takes two values, right? It generally takes a number of values that might be a error, warning, or it can be a none or success. Okay, depending on the situations. So now, so till now we have just passed the error and the success. So same we'll try to pass with the help of the formatter function. Okay, so now this is the formatter function I have defined. Now what I'll do, I'll copy this function, I'll open the main page.controller.js file. Okay, so in the end I'll give comma and I'll declare this function. Okay, so what values we are passing as of now for the formatter? We are passing the values like quantity. Okay, so this quantity value will be passed to this function, to this formatter function. So I'll write, so in the arguments of the function it will return quantity. Okay, and then I'll check the condition. If quantity equal to 0, then what I have to return? I have to return error. Okay, so this is only the value which is expecting by the number state property. Okay, if the quantity is not 0, then I'll write else success. Okay, I'll save this code now. I'll also save the XML code. Okay, I'll select this project and I'll run. So we have added the property for number state. So that number state, what it is displaying, it is displaying the quantity. Okay, so now I can see automatically. So for the quantity, for the number, so whichever the numbers are 0 for the quantity, that are getting displayed in the red color. So I'll add the debugger point so that you guys can know how this function is triggered. Okay, I'll open the source file. Okay, so I'll add the debugger points. I'll add
Avik,
the point on. Yes.
so you mean to say that this formatter is used like for modularization again?
It's not. Yes, yes. For the modularization and also for to making your XML code lightweight. Okay. So instead of making this XML code messy, we can just separate that logic and we can just add one function formatter, and whatever the logic, the JavaScript logic, if I want to write, I can simply write it in controller, or I can create a separate folder for it. Okay. So we'll see in detail, in some more detail, in some time, in few minutes. So before that, so I'll add the breakpoint. Okay, so now I'll reload this app. Then you can see. So for each line item, so how many? So if I am having number of records, so for each record that function will be triggered, that formatter function. Okay, so now I can see automatically this formatter function is triggered. So for the first value, what quantity I'm getting? I'm getting the quantity as 20. So why I'm getting the quantity as 20? Because in XML code, for which property I have binded the formatter, for this property, right? For the quantity. So quantity, so this whatever the values associated with this quantity are getting passed for this function. So that's why in the response with the help of this arguments, I'm getting the value, and so based on that I'm just validating the condition. Okay, so that you can easily see in the debugger console that as of now I'm getting for the first record I'm getting the quantity as 20. So I'm checking if the quantity is 20, then it will return the success as a text in the response. Okay, so for now second quantity is 14, second quantity is 10. So again this loop will run continuously till all the records are displayed. Okay, so I'll deactivate, and now you can see all the records are getting displayed based on the validations. Okay, so anyone has any questions in this?
Can you repeat again, please? In the XML view, what you have done?
1 minute, 1 minute, Mahesh. Yes, can you please tell me once again?
Actually, the time you're explaining that formatter, my network has gone actually, so I didn't hear it.
This XML part you want?
Yeah, the formatter, you this I have missed.
Yeah. Okay, so what you want then?
You pass the formatter.
Sorry, 1 minute, guys. Actually, the voice is very low, so I'm not able to hear you.
So I'm saying that, that you explained another formatter, but I have missed it. I want you to explain again. Hello?
He wants you to explain once again in the XML how the formatter is used.
So can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now tell me, Mahesh. I've connected the headset.
So now I want you to explain again. Actually, I read that part when you were explaining. My network has gone, so I didn't hear. So what you were saying. Hello?
Sorry, Mahesh, your voice is breaking.
No, I'm saying that at the time of you explaining now the formatter, I have missed that because the network has gone. Can you please explain
Okay,
again?
okay, 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 okay. So let me explain it once again. Okay, so now the formatter is similar to the expression binding. Okay, it works similar to the expression binding, but what extra features the formatter is providing, that we can add the JavaScript code. Okay, so whatever the custom code we want to write for that particular field, we can easily write in the formatter. Okay, instead of writing everything in the XML code, which will make our XML code little bit messy, so in order to avoid such kind of things, we are simply creating the formatter. Okay, so formatter function. So based on this formatter function, so for example, let's say for the number state, the quantity, it is the property that we have binded, right, for the number state property. So this quantity value would be it would be passed to this quantity state handler. It is a formatter function. So for this formatter function, this value is getting passed. Okay, so in response, when I'll run this code, so automatically at the so whatever the values I have passed, so as of now the quantity property is passed, right? So this property in quantity, I'll get a value in return. Okay, so I'll check the value. If the value is 0, then it will return error. Otherwise, if the quantity is greater than 0, so every time our else code will be executed. Okay, so this is what the
So
formatter is.
it is basically a failure validation we want to do. That's the thing you said, right?
Yes, yes, validations. If you want to write n number of validations, if you want to check 2 or 3, more than 2, 3 or kind of validations, you can simply write that code inside the formatter function. Okay.
I mean, the comma, I can write that.
Yes. Okay. So now, so this is related to the XML part. Now, let's see how to add this code in the controller part. Okay. So I think for the controller part, okay, I think I don't have a code for the controller, so I have to create. Okay, let's wait. I'll create this object list item in controller, and after that I'll bind it. Okay, so I'll comment this code. Okay, so I'll create a code now. Is there any ID that we have defined? No. Maybe we should comment this code and we'll create entire code here itself. Okay, now. Okay, so title, it is the first property. Beside that, as we have declared this product model, so I'll copy as it is. Okay, so next property I'll add, that is number. Okay, so instead of equal to, I'll give the colon because it is object, and then write number state. Okay, so we'll add this code later. After that, I'll say olist dot bind items. So inside that, what I have to pass first? Path colon Okay, then for template, sorry, template, and that I'll pass object list item. Okay, so now for this error, okay, so for this error, what I have to do now? I have to write the formatter function, right? So before adding this number state, let's check whether our data is getting populated or not on the screen. Okay, so for the view, okay, our page is already having ID. So I'll copy this line of code and I'll add the content as a O list. Okay, so now code is saved. I'll reload. Okay, so now data is getting displayed, but only the thing is that we haven't added any number state, so that's why it's in the black color only. So let's add the number state now in the formatter, using the formatter. Okay, so this is the number state. So in case of XML, how you generally add the formatter, we need to add the formatter inside the double quotes, right? We have added the formatter inside the double quotes, that using the formatter keyword, and we have to make sure that the first the property has to be binded using the path, and after that inside the formatter in single quotes we generally pass dot quantity state handler, right? So this is the formatter function. So in case of controller, you don't have to define it inside the double quotes. You can directly declare the object. First write path colon in single quotes, just pass this property. Okay, make sure that you don't declare this opening and closing curly braces. That is not required in case of path and the formatter. Okay, I'll give the formatter now, and in colon I'll write, what should I write? I can directly write dot, what name I have to write? This one. Okay, dot formatter. Okay, so why I have defined this? Because this function as of now, it's currently for this current controller page, because this function is declared inside this current controller. So that's why I have to, instead of so if I want to access this function, so I have to pass I have to use the this operator, because this will reflect, or it will refer to this current controller page. Okay, now I will save, and I will reload. Okay, so now I can see, so based on that whatever I have written, so if the quantity is 0, I'm getting it in a red color. So what about the rest? So rest values I'm getting in a green color, because there is no any other value which is a 0. Okay, so this is fine. So are you guys getting how to declare the formatter inside the controller? Anyone has any questions in this? Okay, fine guys. So we have seen that if the formatter function is declared inside the controller.js, so we can easily access it with the help of a dot operator, right? Using the dot, and after that the formatter name. So in controller also we have seen we need to use the this, okay, this keyword. So after that we need to call this formatter function. Okay, so this is related to the formatter function. If you're declaring for that particular, this formatter function will be applicable for only this controller. Okay, so if I want the formatter to be accessible throughout the application, so for that what I have to do, I have to create one separate folder. Okay, so I'll create a separate folder now. So new folder, I'll write the folder name as formatters. Okay, so this is the new folder I'm creating now, and inside that I'll create a new file. Okay, formatter.js. Okay, so make sure that always the extension of that extension of your formatter file is .js. Okay, so I'll create. Okay, so now what I will do, I have to declare that function, right? So whichever the function I've defined inside the main page dot controller, so same function I will copy and I'll paste it inside the formatter function. But before that, before I paste the formatter function, so every time we call this formatter function, so I have to make sure that it should return some function, right? It should return some value. So for that also, so I have to follow the same structure like the controller.js file. Okay, so in controller.js file, how the structure is defined, so there is a sap.ui.define, and after that in the array we just pass the module names, right? And then we have the function. So whatever the modules we define in this array on the top section, that module name has to be passed as a parameter to this function, right? And after that inside we use useStrict, and then we use the return. Okay, so same structure we have to follow in the formatter.js also. Okay, so I'll write sap.ui.define. Okay, first I'll give the array, then comma, then function. Okay, and like this. Okay, so I'll use the useStrict, and after that I'll write a return keyword. Okay, so inside this return, so whichever the function is called, it will return that value from this formatter.js, and that value automatically will get appended in the X7 wherever you displaying the values. Okay, that values would be formatted with the help of formatter.js. Okay, so now which function I have declared? This function, right? So I'll cut this function. Okay, and now I'll paste it here inside the return. Okay, so generally you can call it as it is a common function. Okay, so it can be, so it will behave as a generic function. Okay, so this function, a same function, can be called wherever you want. So that's why, as a best practice, make sure that you create a separate folder for the formatter and create a separate file, so you can declare as many functions as possible in this. Okay, so there is no any restriction that we have to define only one function. You can define n number of functions inside the formatter.js, and wherever place if you want to call, you can simply call it. But we have to follow the same syntax what we have seen for how to call this formatter, right? The same, like formatter keyword has to be used. In XML also the formatter keyword is required, but only the slight changes in the exact the function, the way we call the function. So now let's see how we call the function. Okay, so now I've created this separate formatter.js file using the definition. Okay, so now I've defined the useStrict, and then I've written this keyword, and inside the return, whichever the function is triggered, so that value it will return with the help of this return keyword. Okay, so now I'll save the code. So how to call this function? Okay, so how to call this formatter? So in order to call this formatter inside this main page.controller.js file, first I have to declare the path. Okay, so for example, let's say if I'm having n number of controllers, so for each and every controller, I have to first make sure that I define the path, and after that I'll with the help of the local property, so that the formatter function can be accessible for that associated views and controller files. Okay, so now how the path, where my the formatter.js file is included, it's included inside the formatters folder, right? So what is the path I have to follow? I'll copy this path. Okay, so we don't need controller because our folder name is formatters. Okay, and dots will be replaced with the slash. Okay, so now formatter is done. I'll pass the formatters as it is to this function. Okay, so now this formatter is accessible. This formatter is accessible to this current to this current controller and for this view also. Okay, because I have defined the path, and after defining the path I have passed one value as a parameter to this function. So now this formatter is accessible throughout this controller page. Okay, so now what I will do before on init. Okay, so you can see this as the this is the opening and the closing braces. So this is just a property only. Okay, so what I will do, so I will declare one new property here, and inside that I'll pass the value of the formatter. Okay, so same like object format. Okay, so you can give any name. So like let's say I'm writing custom formatter. Okay, colon, I'll give the colon. So whichever the value I've passed in the module path, so I'll copy, I'll paste it here. Okay, as it is an object, so it's necessary to give the comma. Okay, so now the formatter function is defined. So now if I want to call the formatter, so what I have to do, I have to copy this. So before this I have to write dot again the custom formatter, because I'm accessing this formatter function with the help of this local property. Okay, so this is the local property which will behave for this current controller file. Okay, so with the help of this local property I can easily able to call the formatter function. Okay, so that's why I've written this dot, the local property name, and after that the function name or the event handler method name. Okay, so I'll save and now I'll reload. Okay, so I think we have some issue here. So let's find out what is the issue. Okay, so now I'm getting the error that failed to load com models formatter.js from the formatter.js. Okay. So okay, so you can see I have made one mistake. So can anyone tell what mistake I have done?
Yes, yes is me. You can remove yes, Avik.
Yeah. Okay. So now, okay, I'll save. Now it should work, right? Okay, still I'm getting the same error. Not found. So let's see what is missing. Okay, so what I'm missing. Okay, where is our folder name actually? We haven't defined our folder name, right? Previously we missed the file name, actual file name. We have just defined the folder name, but we haven't defined our formatter.js file in this module. So I'll write formatter / formatter. Now this is fine, right? The formatter, and this is the folder name formatters. Okay, I'll save. Okay, see, now it's getting loaded. Okay, so I'm able to call the formatter function. Okay, so what functions I have, what are the steps that I need to follow every time? So first thing, make sure that you create a separate folder for the formatter as a best practice. Create a separate folder. Inside that, create a formatter with the extension .js. Okay, and after declaring, so go to your formatter.js file, declare the definition section inside the formatter by following this same syntax. Okay, so inside the return, open one object, and inside that define your method. Okay, so whichever the custom method if you want to define. So this is the custom formatter method. So after that, once this declaration is done, go back to your main page.controller.js file. So in wherever place if you want to call for your view or controller, so make sure to define it in the controller, not in the view. Okay, so if you define the path, so for defining the path, pass the path in the module section, okay, and pass the value in the as a parameter inside the function. And next step, store this formatter, this value inside a local property. Okay, so this will act as a local property for this entire controller file, and also for it will also act same for the main page.view.xml, because this main page controller file is associated with this main page. So that's why this local property will also work for this view.xml file. Okay, so after that, once you define, so then if you want to call the formatter methods inside the controller, so make sure that you use the this keyword, and after this followed by dot, and then your local property name, and then dot your formatter method name. Okay, so this is how you generally do in case of controller. Now how to call the same thing inside the XML. So for XML, we just have to change some few things, then it should be fine. I'll comment this code. Okay, I'll save. I'll go back to the main page.view.xml. Okay, so now this is the formatter, right? So we have, so how we can call this formatter. So if I want to call this formatter from this formatter.js, so we already stored this formatter value inside the local property, right? So we can easily access this local property. I'll copy, and before that I'll paste it here. Okay, so before that also I have to add dot. Okay, I'll save, and now I'll reload. Okay, see, you can see it's working. Okay, so in case of XML, just mention the local property name, okay, before your formatter method name. Okay, and make sure that prefix it with the dot, then only it will work. But it should be inside the single quotes in case of view.xml in the XML file. But in case of controller, make sure that whatever the structure you define, the syntax, it must not be declared inside the double quotes. Okay, it should be defined as an object format, and in the path in the single quote just define your property name, and after that this is your formatter, and inside the formatter, instead of defining it in the single quotes, you can directly define with the help of this keyword. Okay, this, the local property name, and the formatter method name. Okay, so any questions in this?
Fine.
It's fine, right? Okay, so now take your time, guys. So I'm giving you guys 18 minutes, so we'll continue this around 6. Okay, open your application and create a separate folder. Okay, create a separate folder for formatter and try to define it. I'll keep the file as it is open. Okay, please utilize the time properly, and let me know if you need my help. Okay, open your application fast. तिथं ठेवू ना ते भावल्या ते बघत बसत. अरे ते म्हण लागला तर पुढे कुठे गेले? आइए टाइम संपर्क
9 मिनिट राहिले का हे दिशा कुठे ठेवली बघ मग बघ मग
Ravi, can you go down to the quality state handler, please? Hello?
Hello.
Can you go back to the quality state handler function, please? Function.
Great. 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 कुछ नहीं है करना टेबल बैंड के बेटा So guys, is it done? Hello. uh, Guys, is it done?
I'll try once again and then I'll let you know that mm, difficulties I'm facing, Avik. Is it okay?
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Okay, so should we uh, should we move further now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so now guys, as of now we just passed one property value to this formatter function. But what in case if I want to validate based on multiple values, based on multiple property values? So is there any way that I can do in, because what I can say, in expression binding we are able to validate with the two conditions, right? There is already a possibility to add a multiple conditions in the expression binding, but it should definitely, that feature must be available for formatter also, right? Because that's why the formatters are pretty much handy in case of expression binding. So if I want to pass the multiple properties values, for example, as of now just quantity value is getting passed in this custom formatter function, but in the same time I just want to verify in by considering or by comparing 2 or 3 values from the different properties, so that I can also do in this formatter. Okay, so how I have to do? So before path I'll write the parts. So when we want to pass multiple property values, so make sure that we use paths. Okay, and then I'll give colon and in array format. Okay, so in array format I'll declare the array, and each property value, it should be declared inside the object. Okay, like this. Again, if I want to define one more property, I'll give comma, again I'll use the object format, then again I'll write path colon, what I'll do, product model, then quantity. So let's say if I want to pass one more value, like what I can do, maybe let's compare with the price and the weight measure also. Okay, so I'll say I'll replace this value now. Okay, instead of quantity I'll write price, and then I'll also compare it with the current maybe weight unit, weight measure. Okay, so this is the weight measure. I'll copy. Okay, so now what I've done, inside the parts, that is in the array, inside the array I have declared the two objects. Okay, so for the first property it's a price, and for the second it's a weight measure. So what I will do, I'll compare both of this. Okay, if the price is greater than 1000 and if weight is more than 5 kg, so in that case I'll declare this price, or maybe I should declare this quantity. Okay, it's fine. I should declare this quantity in the red color. Okay, so that's what we will do for this number set. Okay, I'll save. Now I'll just reload. So I think before reloading I have to also make sure that the values are passed in the same manner. Okay, so as the quantity is replaced with the price, so I'll write price. So what is the second parameter we declared? We declared it for the weight measure, right? So make sure that the orders, the way you define the properties inside the XML, so that order must be followed in the formatter also, in the formatter method also. Okay, the sequence, it should match with the XML. First is a price, then it's a weight measure. You can give any name, it's fine. Okay, so now I'll say if price is greater than 1000 and if weight is greater than 5. So in that case I'll return error, otherwise it should be a success. Okay, so let's see whether is there any weight which is greater than 5, otherwise everything would be in, I think, okay, yeah, we have some values which are greater than 5. Okay, so now I've made those changes inside the formatter.js file. Okay, so I've added the condition. So I have passed the two values of the properties, that is first for the price property and second for the weight measure property. Okay, so now I can easily compare two of these properties values, and based on that, whichever value if I want to return, I can simply return it. Okay, so now I'll save. So I'll add the debugger points. So when I run this app, so our application can stop at the breakpoint. Okay, so where is our formatter? Okay, so now formatter file is this formatter, and inside that we have formatter.js. Okay, so okay, I'll add debugger still. Okay, now I'll reload because the application was not reloaded. That's why it was showing the previous content. Okay, so now I can see our formatter function is at the line number 5. So at the first, the price is 956. Okay, and what is the weight measure we are passing? It's a 4.2. So based on that, I compared these conditions. If weight is greater than, so first condition is getting false, so it will execute the second conditions. Okay, so now it goes for the second value. For the second value, the price is 1249, and if weight measure is 4.5, still it will not satisfy, right? It will go to the second line. So this is how it will work. Okay, so I'll run and I'll close. Okay, so now I can see the whichever the value is greater than whatever we defined, right? We pass the two values, price and the weight. So based on that, whichever satisfies, we are returning the value based on that. Okay, so is this understood to everyone? Is this clear? Hello? Am I audible, guys? Okay. Okay, so now anyone has any questions in this? So this is only it's completely related to the formatters that we have seen. Okay, so we have seen how to define it in controller, in XML, how to create a separate folder for the formatter, everything. So anyone has any questions in this? If no, you can guys please speak up. At least say no.
Yeah, good. I'm good.
Okay, so now let's say, so we'll see now the the filters and the sorters. Okay, so till now we are just trying to display all the data whichever the file is having, right? But we, in some cases, if the client is saying that I just want to display the data with respect to the categories as a laptop, okay, just display the data based on the category laptops. Okay, so now I'll go back to this product.json. So in this data, I can see there are various data based on the different categories, right? So there are different data based on the categories. Like let's say, so as of now, the first product is it was the notebook basic 15, okay, and it belongs to the category laptops. So there can be different category also, right? Like we have the category of accessories. We also have the category of maybe we have the category of flat screen monitors. Okay, so now if I just want to display the data which is completely related to the category laptops, so is there any way that I can do? Is there any way that I can do?
Uh, Avik, if you don't mind, can you repeat the question one more time?
Okay, so what I'm saying, so now, as of now in this application, when I run this application, as of now I'm just displaying all the data. Okay, so whichever data it's already present inside the product.json file, right? So we are displaying the entire data. But now the client is requesting that though I'm getting all the data, but clients want that only to display data with related to the category laptops. Okay, only display the data which belongs to the category laptops. So that only I'm asking. So how do we filter the data?
Maybe we need to implement a logic in controller by reading the
Okay.
each index of the product uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh, product
Okay. So okay,
file
that
where the
okay, that's
category
fine.
is equal to laptop. So
Mm-hmm.
kind of
Uh,
like
yeah, that is okay. Avik, I think we can filter option available in view level also. We can add
Right.
filter option.
Right. So now let's say some guys are saying that we need to look through it and we have to filter out the data, right? That's only you guys are saying. But now let's say if the data is more than 2000, 3000, 4000, so what will it will do? It will just impact, right? So generally we generally do this filtration in the back end only. Okay, rather than sending all the data to the front end, we can simply write a logic in the back end and we can simply filter out the data, right? That is one of the best solution that we can do. But in some cases, if the data is very less, like let's say if the data is only a few, that is 50 or 60 records, okay, and if the backend person is not available, now you are just trying to enhance the existing product. Okay, so in that case, if the client is expecting that to just filter out the data, so what you will do, you can add the filter options. Okay, when you generally bind the data, so there is one property also available. So with the help of that property, you can simply you can easily filter out the data. Okay, so how to add the filter? So now what is the main data, what is the main path I'm passing? So this is the model, product model, right? After that I'm passing entire data from this product collection. Okay, so this product collection is nothing but it is a property, and inside that each and every data is present. Okay, so now inside this product collection I have to filter out the data, right? So for that what I will do, so I'll add one more property here, filter. So in order to add the filter also, I have to make sure that this path, whatever the path I'm defining, it should be defined inside the property path. Okay, so first I'll add path colon, in single quotes I'll define this path. Okay, after that I'll give comma and then I'll write filters. Okay, and then I'll give colon, and in array format I'll write. Okay, so first object I'll write. So what is the first path in based on which property I have to filter? I have to filter based on category property. So first I'll copy this category. Okay, so I'll define inside the path and then I'll give the single quotes. Then what operator? There are operator concepts in the filters. We'll see that in a minute. Okay, so now operator. So I just want the values which are exactly equal to the laptops. Okay, which are exactly equal to the category laptops. Okay, so for that what I have to do, so I'll add the operator as EQ. Okay, so EQ is an operator, so it will check exactly the value is equal to. Okay, with the help of EQ operator. Now and finally what we have to check, we have to check the value. Okay, so we generally write a value 1. Okay, so we can compare multiple values inside the filter. So that's why if you want to compare it with the two values, so there are value 1, value 2 kind of thing. So as of now, just value 1 I'm declaring, and inside the value 1 I'm passing the value as laptops. Okay, I'll copy this, I'll pass laptops. Okay, that's it. Now I'll save. Now what I've done, I've defined the main path inside the path property, and then I've declared the comma, and after that the filters property I've used, and after that I've given the colon, because as we can add multiple filters, so that's why it has to be declared inside the array format, right? So that's why I've declared the square brackets, and inside that in an object format I've declared the first path. So this is the property name from which I have to filter. So operator, so EQ, there are multiple operators. EQ contains less than, greater than, all operators we can add. Okay, so as of now I just want to make sure that the value must be equal to the value laptop. So that's why I'm adding the operator as a EQ, and then value 1. So which value I have to compare? This one, laptops. Okay, so now this is done. I'll save, and now I'll reload. Okay, so it should only display the value as, okay, so now I can see only few details I'm able to see. Okay, only few data. So now let's say HT1000. Okay, I'll go back to this product.json. HT1000, it belongs to the category laptops. What about the next? HT1001. It is also of laptops. So now I'll just go back at the downside, HT1253. I'll copy this. Okay, I'll paste it here. So now this also. So this is the last record. I think it's completely from the down. So this record is also belonging to the category laptops. Okay, so this is how you generally filter out the data, right, from the list. Okay, so now let's say, as of now I have just filtered out the data, right? Now let's say I want to sort the quantity. So based on the quantity I have to sort this list data. So for that also we have one sorter. Okay, so after from whichever place the filter is ending, so after that I'll give comma, and then I'll add sorter. Okay, sorter is a property. Inside that, in an object format, I'll define path. So based on which property I have to filter? I have to filter based on quantity. So I'll copy only quantity, and then I'll give comma. So now, based on whether you want to sort it in a descending order or ascending order. By default, it's a ascending only. But in case if you want to make it as, if you want that list item, so the quantity, whichever the product having the quantity more, you have to display it on the top. Then you can define the property descending equal to true. Okay, so that's how you do. Okay, so what I will do, I'll write descending colon true. Okay, so now I'll save. So what things I have written down, that is sorter, after that colon, and inside the curly braces I've defined the path, that is the quantity, and after that descending equal to true, sorry, colon true. Now I'll reload. Okay, see, now whichever, so for this product HT1253 I'm having the quantity 27. So that's why I'm able to see the quantity on the top, right? So for HT1251 also I'm able to see quantity as 23. So whichever the quantities are more, so that is displayed on top. Because why it displaying on the top? Because I've added this sorter property here. Sorter path, quantity, and descending equal to true. Okay. So is this clear to all of you? Only make sure that the syntax must be followed like this only, because if there is any slight mistake while writing this code, then it will not work. Only make sure that it should be correct only, the syntax. Okay, is this fine? Can you guys please speak?
Yeah, Avik. Fine.
Okay. So now, let's do this thing. Okay, take your time, guys. Giving you 10 minutes. Add this filter and sorter also to this list item. Okay, and then we'll see how to filter out the data based on the search bar. Okay, we'll put one search bar on the top, and so if the user is typing anything, so based on that automatically this data should be filtered out. Okay, so that we'll see in a few minutes. So before that, just add this filter and sorter. Okay, so we'll continue around 6:32.
Ravi, can you go to formatter side, please?
Sorry, Mahesh, where?
Formatter.
Okay, formatter. You're still doing the formatter.
No, I've done that.
Okay, so is it done, guys? Are you guys able to filter out the data? Okay, should we move to the next topic? Yes or no? Hello? Is my voice audible to all of you or not?
Yeah, Avik. Yeah, Avik.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so now this is just related to the XML part. Okay, so in XML we generally add the filters and sorters in this way. But what will change in case of controller part? I'll comment this code because I think we already have the code written inside the controller, right? I'll uncomment this code. Okay. So now in controller, if you want to add the filters and formatters, so I'll open the SDK API reference. Okay, now I'll tell you the different operators which are available. I'll search for the filter. Okay, so filter, only filter I have to search. So where is the filter? Okay, so this is the filter. Okay, so as we are doing the filtration operation on the model's data, that's why always to consider the filter from the model. Okay, so now this is the filter. Okay, so they have already defined how to define a filters. Okay, so this filters they are defining completely in the controller part. Okay, so now I'll check. Sorry, so if you want to define the filter, you can simply use the filter. Okay, so this is the filter class, and after that inside you can define the properties different. Okay, so what are the filter operators? So the filter operators are, you have all, you have any, you have bt, between, and then contains ends with EQ greater or equal to, greater than, less than or equals, and then LT less than, and NB not between, and NE not equals. There are so many filter operators which are available. So using this filter operation you can filter out the data. Okay, so as of now I've just shown you the EQ operator. So we'll see the contains operator. Okay, so this one mostly we depending on the requirement we apply those filter operators. Okay, so now if I want to filter out the data in a controller, so wherever you're using the bind items or bind aggregation for the list inside that method, okay, before or after the template also you can give, okay, just give comma and then write filters colon. It should be inside the array if you want to add multiple, otherwise you can directly write new sap.ui.model.filter. okay, so this is how the syntax I have to follow, and generally what values it takes I can directly give the values if I don't want to specify if I don't want to specify in the object format. Okay, so first the value it takes price, next is the operator, then value 1 or value 2. okay, so now I'll pass the values here. Okay, so what is the first? So first parameter it takes the property name. So on based on which so I have to filter out the data based on the category. So I'll copy this category, I'll paste inside the filter. Okay, so make sure that this filter is defined with the new keyword inside the filters property. Okay, so new space sap.ui.model.filter. This is your first parameter category. After that second parameter is a operator. So I'll define EQ and then the value. So value would be laptops. Okay, so this is for the filters. Now what for the sorters? Just give comma in the end and then write sorter colon, write directly new sap.ui.model.sorter. okay, so generally sorter takes 3 parameters. So the first one is the path, okay, and the second one what it is, whether you want to make it ascending or descending, okay, and then in the last if you want to group it. Okay, so that also you can add if you want to group the data. Okay, so I'll add the 2 values here. I'll directly add which property I want to sort based on quantity. Okay, so what we have done in the XML code, so this is the quantity we are passing as a property. So I'll pass quantity and then I'll give comma and then I'll write true. Okay, that's it. I'll save this data and now I'll reload. So we should get the same data. Okay, see, I'm able to get the same data. So our data is also getting filtered out and data is also sorted in ascending, in descending. So that's why I'm able to see 27, 23 and likewise data. Okay, so is this clear to all of you? So how to define sorters and filters inside controller and XML? Anyone has any questions?
Instead of defining the new SAP UI dot, we can define above and we can use it, right?
Sorry, what Mahesh?
This new SAP dot UI dot model dot filter is there, right? So we can define the above section and we can directly only filter.
Right? Yes. Generally we do the same thing. We define in the module and you can directly write new filter. That's it. Okay, for sorter also it should work the same. Okay, so now tell me. So now I'll add one on the top. I'll add one search bar. Okay, and after that once the user is entering any text, so based on that automatically the data must be filtered out. So in order to do this, is there any way that I can do? What can be the possibility?
We can use live update method. into that
Right,
property.
right, right. Exactly right. So live change is an event that will be fired when you enter something inside the search field. Okay, search field or input field also. But we generally prefer search field, okay, rather than input field. Okay, so I'll reload now. So now first requirement, what I have to do? First we need one search field. Okay. First we'll add one search field on the top. After that, whatever the user is entering, based on that, if user is entering one character, so based on that one character, the data must be filtered out. Okay. If user is entering some word, so only that particular record must be displayed. Okay. So in order to do this, first I'll add the search field. So where I can add, I can include one more aggregation as a header container or header toolbar. Okay, so inside that I'll declare a toolbar. Okay, so inside that I'll declare toolbar. Okay, and now inside the toolbar I'll add search field. Okay, so this is the search field. I'll close. I'll add live change method. Okay, so inside that I'll say handle search okay, that's it. Now what will happen? So I'll reload this. I'll tell you. Okay, so now I'm able to see one search field here on the top. Okay, so if I'm searching, if I'm entering, let's say if I'm entering HT, or if I'm entering 27, only the 27 record must be displayed, right? So for that, how you need to do? Okay, so what will happen once I enter anything? So based on that, for each character, our event will be fired. Okay, our live change event will be fired. So live change is an event that will be fired when you enter something inside this input field. Okay, or this search field. So it will be fired for each character you enter. Okay, so now I'll declare the search handle search inside the controller file. Okay, I'll go down and I'll declare this handle search. I'll write function, I'll pass o event and then the method. Okay, so now first I'll get the data as well. So I'll write o event dot get source. So get source means the search field, actual search field control that, then get value methods to get the value from the search field. Okay, so now what I have to do? So once I get the data, I'll first check if the data is available, then only do the filtration part, otherwise not. Okay, I'll add if condition. If as well is having value, then only it should execute, otherwise in else. We'll see in a minute. Okay, so now first what I have to do, I also need the ID of list control. Okay, so because we are doing this filtration operation on the list control. Okay, so that's why I declare one ID to this list. So I'll write product list. Okay, so this is the ID that I have defined for the list control. So now I'll get this value here, o list equal to product list. Okay, so now I am having the list control and also I am having the value that user will enter. Okay, once this event is fired, automatically I'll get a value with the help of this line of code, o event.getSource.get value. Okay, now so I want to filter out the data, right? So I'll declare one empty array. Okay, so it will be by default empty. And now what I will do, I'll declare one variable, I'll declare one new variable, overfilter equal to, I'll write new SAP dot UI dot model dot filter. Okay, and inside that I'll pass the same thing. So now let's say I want to filter out the data based on this product ID. Okay, so as of now this is the product ID. Okay, so you can see it's a product ID in the title we are getting. Okay, I'll copy this. So in the first property I'll pass the product ID, and then I'll give comma, in double quotes I'll give EQ. Sorry, instead of EQ I'll use contains, because what happens if I'm using the EQ, so it will look for the exact value. Okay, it will look for the exact entire value. But with the help of contains, if I'm typing H also, so it will look for the entire, wherever the value is H, it will check for it. Okay, but in case of EQ, it will only look for the one value, right? Because it is equal to. So I have defined the operator as a contains, and then finally I'll pass the value which I'm getting. Okay, so this is the value, right? So now this is O filter, and now what I will do, I will push this O filter inside this filter array. Okay, inside that I'll write push. What I will push, O filter. Okay, that's it. And then what I have to do, why I've got this list, because we want to filter on this list, right? So I'll write O list dot get binding. Okay, so get binding I have to get, inside that I'll write items and then dot filter. Okay, so inside the filter, what filter I have to pass? This filter array. Okay, so if the value is not present, I'll only copy this line. So what it will only pass the blank, so that nothing will be filtered out. Okay, so now I'll save this code, and now I'll run. So we'll debug this code and we'll see what is happening. Okay, so now I'll open the inspect tab. I'll go to the source. Sorry, I'll open this controller. Okay, so now I'll add the debugger point and this. Okay, and the value level, and also in all this. Okay, so now I'll enter H. If you enter small also, still it will filter out. Okay, so that's not to worry. I'll enter H. Okay, so as soon as I enter H, so this function is triggered, because this live change, this event will be triggered for each character. Okay, for each character you enter. Okay, so now I'll check for the value. So what value I'm getting? I'm getting the value as H. So now, I've also got this O list control. Okay, so this is the O list control, and then in the this is first a filter array empty. So then I'm checking if value is H. If the value is present, then only the line number 70, 71 should execute. Okay, so now I'm defining the filter. So this is the filter I'm defining. So for that, on which property I have to filter? I have to filter on the property product ID.
Is it not case sensitive?
No, it's not a case sensitive.
Okay.
Okay, so now this is the product ID, contains and as well. Okay, so now I've created one O filter. So you can see in a O filter, on the 0, O value 1 is H, S operator is contain, and path is product ID. Okay, so I have pushed this filter inside the blank array. Okay, and then that blank array I will pass to this filter method. Okay, so O list, I'll copy this O list, I'll go to the console. Okay, so this is O list dot get binding. When I do get binding, inside that, what type of binding I want to get? Because I have binded what? I have binded the items, right? By default, the list supports items aggregation, right? So that's why whichever the items we bind. So as of now, we have just binded the items. So that's why I will pass items inside the get bindings. Okay. So when I do get bindings, I can see I'm able to get the path. Okay, and these are the indexes, and this is the all data that I'm having. Okay, and now you can see when I expand this constructor, you can see there is a filter, there is a sorter. So sorter is one already that we applied, that is the quantity, so that's why it's coming here, okay, the sorter as a descending, but there is no filter available inside the A filter, right? So now if I want to filter, so we have one method, that is dot filter, okay. So this method we can call, okay. Inside this method it generally takes two parameters, one is the actual filters, and then this is the string that you can do, but one is sufficient, okay. So what I will do, I will not pass here because I'll just execute the line of code, okay. So now I'll execute this code, so it should filter out the data. Okay, sorry. Okay, so now what I have entered H, so based on that the data is getting filtered out, okay. But this is not able, we are not able to see because for each product everything is H. So I'll search for the specific character, like let's say I'll search for 1032, okay. You can search wherever you want in the if you want to search in between of the text, that should also work, okay. I'll search for 1032. You can see automatically based on that I'm able to get the data, because the contents will search, it will not search from the start, it will search everywhere in the text, wherever it finds 1032, so that everything will be displayed, okay. So if I'm searching for 10, so only 10, wherever the 10 is there it will display all the records, okay. If I search for the 50, so it will display the records which are having the 50 character, okay. So this is how it works generally, okay. So now if I don't want, I can simply click on this, so again all the data will be displayed, okay. So is this clear to all of you, how we done the filtration operation on the search bar? So first I get the value, so I have stored this value inside a variable, a local variable, and then I've also defined, I've got this OList control with the help of the code this.getView.byId, and once I'm having the OList and value, then I've also created one empty array, okay, and then I've added one condition, if the value is available then only filter out the data, otherwise not, okay. So in if condition, so if value is present, then I've created a new filter, and then I've pushed this filter into this empty array, and then I've done the OList.getBindingItems.filter, okay. So now this is for only one filter. So what if I want to also search for this stock? Let's say if I want to search inside this quantity also, okay. So as of now I'm just searching inside this product ID, but I also want to search for the quantity, wherever the quantity is 50, there also I just want to search. So what I will do, I'll add one more filter here, okay. So I'll comment this code and I'll write new code here, okay. So if you want to add multiple filters, write this code like this: new sap.ui.model.filter, okay. Inside define the object, and then define the property as filters, okay. Then give array, and inside that just copy as it is, okay, this entire line, okay, and keep comma if you want to. Again I'll define one more filter for the quantity, okay. So this quantity that I'm displaying, okay, so this is the property, okay. So I'll filter, I should also filter out the data, and now the value, okay. So now, so let's say I just want that the filtration to be done, so the two filters I have passed, right? One is the product ID and quantity, but I should compare this filter in the AND condition, okay. If both of this condition matches, then only filter out the data, otherwise not. So for that we have one more property, AND, okay. So if I'm adding AND as a true, so what will happen? So it will strictly check both of these values, okay. If the product ID and quantity both are matches, then only filter out the data, otherwise not, okay. So that's why we add and. By default it's a false only, so every time it will try to check in product ID. If matches, it will display product. If the product ID not matches, it will check for quantity also in the same time. Okay, if the quantity matches, it will display the data related to the quantity also. Okay, so now I'll reload. So now I'll search for 27. Okay, sorry, are we getting the filtered data? Okay, so we are getting the filter data, right? Okay, so I'm searching for the 27. So I think there is some issue with this. I'll check the console. Okay, so now what it is saying, so we have one error. Only string values are supported for the filter operator contains. So why this error occurred?
You have passed to the quality area.
Okay, so now let's say what is the type of quantity. Okay, so what type of what data the quantity is storing? It's in integer, right? It's in the number. The value is not in the string format. So that's why when we use contains, make sure that the contains will not work for the integer or the number values. Okay, contains will always work for the string values. Okay, so that's why it didn't work here. So what I have to do, I have to replace this contains with the EQ, because contains will not work with the number values. The contains will always work with the string. But in case of the EQ, equal to operator, so this will support for integer also, this will also support for the strings. Okay, so I've changed the quantities operator with the EQ. Then I'll save and then I'll reload. Okay, so now it will check for the value 27. Okay, so now why I'm not getting any data? Because the 27 is not present in any one of these values, right? In product ID also or in quantity also. That's why. Let's see some record which is having both the data. But I don't think so that we have such kind of data.
You can type 50, no?
50, okay. See, that's also not there. Okay, so 5 is matching from this, because for the product ID, the 5 is the contents, right? So the contents property we have used, so that's why it's matching with the product ID. But it also checking for the quantity. Okay, so only this condition satisfies, so that's why it's displaying the 2 records. Okay, if I'm making it as a false, so what will happen? If I'm making it as a false, if I'm searching for 27 directly, so it will display all the values which are getting equal to the 27. Okay, and it will also display the values which are already present inside the 27, inside the product ID. So now let's say in the product ID only this 27 is matching. That's why we are able to see this line. But what about the above 2 records? That 27 is matching for the quantity, so that's why it's getting displayed. Okay, so that's how the OR and AND condition works in the filter. Is this clear? Is this clear, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so now please open your application and try to add the search field on the top of the list item. You can also filter it out in the table also if you want, but we have just used the list. Okay, try to use it out. Okay, add one search field using this header toolbar search field. Add one live change function, and in the controller add the filter in this manner. Okay, I'll keep this code open. So once you complete, please ping me. Okay, I think you hardly need 10 or 15 minutes, so 20 minutes is fine. We'll continue this call around 7:20, and then we'll see the assignments. Okay, please utilize the time properly, guys. Open your application and please write down the code, all this code.
Avik, is there anything else that you're going to talk today? Avik?
Yes, hello. Yeah, hi guys.
Yeah, is there anything else that you're going to, complete today? Any other topic?
No, that's it for today. Only we have covered formats and sorters filters.
Yes, okay. I'll take a leave then.
Yeah, okay. But after half an hour, means I was going to have a session related to the queries. If any questions, maybe a
Uh,
discussion.
well, I have to actually go through the whole video, yesterday's and today's together. So,
Okay.
yeah,
And what
I'll
about the
take that.
previous videos?
Till the models I have covered.
Hmm.
Yeah, but yesterday's and today's I didn't have a chance to do it, so I'll do it after in this week.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
then that's fine, Gayatri then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have a good
Thank
day.
you. Yeah, good day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Rest guys can be you can be on call only. Okay.
Avik, Srinivas here. No? Hello?
Hello.
Avik.
Yes. Yes, Srinivas.
Uh, yeah. Avik, one quick question. So, the toolbar concept, search option, is anything possible to handle in view level without control?
Sorry, this one.
Yes. Like without live chain method. So, anything option is there, like directly we are entering to that search bar.
Right.
Any other properties are there?
Okay. Any other property means now we are handling it with the help of live change event. Okay. So there is
Okay.
also one more event for this search field. Okay. So now let's say if you don't want to filter the data when you enter it, right? If you want to filter it based on this search click. Okay. So this search icon is there on the right hand side. So
Okay.
this will also triggered when you search for when you add a new event. Okay. So I'll search for this. You can check in the API reference whenever you do anything.
Yeah,
If you want
current,
to add some new property.
yeah. Okay.
Okay. So in the search field, um, I think the event is search. Okay. So inside the events you can see a search is there and change is also there. Okay. But normally you can use the search. Okay. And this event when it will be triggered when you hit enter. Okay. After entering the value, when you hit enter or when you click on this search, then only this data will,
Yeah.
sorry, the
Yeah,
function
got
will
it.
be triggered.
The specific operations that we need to perform, whether we use it for the change or search. So if you like
Right.
changing,
Right.
automatically, dynamically, it access the
It
control, like hit the
dynamically
control.
triggered. Yes.
Yes, sir. Actually, Avik, currently I'm working on tool page concept in my project.
Okay.
Tool page. If you open the tool page in next tab, here, yes,
Okay. It's in samples tool page.
yes, sir. Tool page, yeah,
1 minute.
tool page. Yeah, this
Okay.
one,
Tool
tool
page
page.
layout. This only, right?
Yeah. Currently I'm working on this one.
Okay. Now.
So here they're asking after a menu, they need one more tool like live change. After menu, after that they need one toolbar.
This menu. They need one toolbar.
Yes.
Okay.
Like
Where
it's
you
global.
want to
It's a
add the search
global
field?
kind of thing. Yeah, it's a global kind of thing. They request
Okay, means global search they want. So once
yes.
they enter anything, so automatically based on that data should be filtered out, right?
Yes. They need client one that one. So I'm currently looking at that portion.
Okay, so let's see some code. Okay, so did you means have you tried to add the search field inside this tool header?
Uh, yes. And its tool page is completely one black a week, so it's not possible in between adding. So the top menu it's possible to add, but in between I'm not getting to add this one. Why? Because can
Okay,
you
where you want to add then? After
uh,
in this same bar or you want to add it somewhere?
actually initially they requested search icon in after tools like right side. Alan Smith was there right before that.
Okay, before that they want to add.
Yeah, but now
Okay.
what happened? So I want the complete toolbar after menu, after that menu. Right, root item was there, right? In between menu and root item.
Okay, in between the this bar and menu item, sorry, this menu
In
item you
between.
want a search field.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe you can add one code.
Here
Uh,
question is Avik, but the tool page completely TNT. They are using some TNT namespace.
right,
So
TNT.
starting and ending complete one block. If you go down,
Okay, this is the header and it's a
yeah.
name.
Yes. But in between, I'm not able to add it because I'm searching in TNT. If you open an API reference, I open the TNT namespace also. there is no tool like search one in the TNT.
Right, right. Did you try to add?
Yes, sir.
Have you tried
I'm
it? Maybe
tried, but
is that code running on your laptop now?
no. That is my office laptop unable to unable to connect our regular sessions. I will show
Maybe.
I will share my screen once free time. Once we will discuss on that part.
Yeah.
I'm trying. So that is one thing I'm trying. As of now, my current task going on.
No, that's good actually. You're exploring some controls, and if this is the requirement you want to fulfill, then
Yeah,
that's very
it's
good.
a one kind of product, right? So client expecting all custom only, custom screens only. So he needs some complete end to end. So every menu they need in one page, like one window. So initially they like names are different, but this kind of this.
Maybe there might be a mock-up also, right? The way you want to design the page.
Yes.
Is client provided you with the mock-up? How they want?
Yeah, they provide some, let's say, like it's a Word document, it's some images only. So I want this menu after this
Okay,
one. So I,
okay, that's fine. Then we'll try to replicate that same image, okay, in this UI5 itself. We'll try.
but
But
my question,
you have to make sure that if something is not possible, you have to tell them that, Bob, this is not possible because it all depends on the layout, right? Some
yeah,
layouts are not possible and we
my,
cannot
yes, I'm,
override some
yeah,
controls.
that is, yes, that is true, Alex. So I am doing like this complete tool page, I am TNT namespace, the TNT library function. I am checking the TNT. Anything possible to search criteria, I am checking that one only.
Okay.
If it is search, but search is, can you open the code once if you don't know? Can you open the code? Source code.
Okay.
Here they are using TNT in controller C, library function TNT.
Right.
SAP.tnt or something. I am checking in the TNT, is anything possible to add search that
You can
library
add,
function in
right?
the search icon?
I mean, see, you can see in the TNT tool header also, they have added the buttons. So buttons, they are already
Button
belonging
is
to this
possible, but
library.
I need to check that search icon is available or not in the TNT.
Okay, means you mean to say if you add the
This
search.
complete, yeah, TNT complete block, right? Open and close. Under that, they created so many buttons or menu options. Now they come up with the one search icon. Now search.
Right. Maybe you can add one subheader to this. Subheader should work.
Okay. Okay, Avik, I will try. Let me try that portion. So in case anything I need
Check
is I
for
will.
in API reference
Let
how
you.
to add the subheader. Okay, so that subheader it can be added below this main header. Okay, so as a subheader, so in that you can define the search field on the left hand side or on the
Okay.
right hand side, the way you want. But you have to add one entire bar section. So I think we have already seen a bar, right? A bar control where you
Yes.
can easily place the content in left, middle, or on the right. So that you can use and make sure that you add that control in a subheader, so that header subheader section would be fixed on the top. It will not scroll when you scroll the page.
Okay.
That you can do. Okay, so I will also try if this works. Okay, but you can at
Yeah.
least try.
Yeah. No. I'm still doing some trials on it.
But
So we
for me
achieve
also,
some
I
portion, but
never work on this tool page as of now, because
okay.
completely we normally use the page only or the object page.
But they want some. This tool page have multiple criteria because the multiple options are there. They say like completely one single set of view code only. So we in that different cases we need to add menu separate items and we need to add XML view. Some menu purpose we need to add some code, and item for some we not. That is the lengthy code. Right? This is a single completely packed in tool page. We like we prefer, so client also agree. Okay, you can do anything in this tool page only.
Means everything
Multiple
they
options.
want in a single container.
Yes, that is true.
Okay, let's say maybe we can, what we will do, we can connect after 8 if you want, after this call.
Uh, I need some time because I need to R&D. So yesterday, some unfortunately due to personally, I'm still in hometown. So,
Okay,
so
okay,
some purpose.
that's fine,
I
Srinivas.
will
No
ping you. I
problem.
will ping you. Here, my question is. Let me share my screen. Here, my question is. Oh,
Okay,
it
share
is.
your screen. Yeah. Sorry, 1 minute. I have to make you the co-host. Then only you can share.
Yeah.
So let me make you the co-host. It's a Srinivas, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so can you please check the options?
Yeah, I
Are you
have
getting an
here.
option to share?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh, Avik, actually, my question is when I'm using TNT library function, these are the possible tasks are like info label, like IT tool header, navigation list items. These are the options.
But
When I add,
hello, I'm able to see your main home screen.
oh,
Maybe please reshare and try to select all the options. I'm not able to see your Chrome browser.
okay, 1 second. Let me-
Maybe just stop and before resharing, check all the boxes so that I can see the Chrome.
No, hello, Avik, now able to
Uh,
see my screen?
no, not yet. Yes, now it's visible.
Okay.
Okay.
So actually, I'm trying to add here one search icon, Avik. So that is the
What you
first
want to
option.
add
If
there?
anything, search.
Search field before Alan Smith.
Yeah, this is example. So we need to here login page, login out page, something is coming. So before that,
Okay.
we need to add search icon. But this is already TNT library function, right?
Hmm.
So here I'm checking TNT. In that there is no search related things. I am unable to add, right?
No,
Because
no,
this
no.
library.
That will not work like that, Srinivas. You can add any library. You can add any control if you want. Because now just open the samples. Go to
Okay.
that code. Okay, tool page. Okay, so now just open the source code. Okay, so you can see in the tool header. Okay, so tool header, it is the section, right? It's starting from the line number 9, right? So they
Yes.
have added one button, right? So what the button is belonging to, which class, which
I
library?
think
It
this
is
one.
belonging to sap.m, right?
Okay. This one, yeah.
So they are able to add, right? That button is not belonging to the TNT library. It will same happen for the search field also. You can directly add the search field, and that will definitely work in the same tool header only.
Okay. Fine. I will try this portion.
Okay,
So, okay. I
because
will add.
by default sap.m, it's a default namespace, so you can directly use it. It should
Okay.
work.
This is my second task. I am working on smart charts also.
Okay, so
So
one
this
more
one.
thing I just want to tell you regarding the smart charts. So this is completely a
Mhm.
different concept. Okay, so
Yeah,
whichever
yeah.
the controls you
Here,
use, like smart charts or smart controls, that are
yeah.
completely a different concept. So for that you definitely need a service. With the local data you cannot do this. You need a service that
Yeah,
supports the
we
smart control.
basically, yeah. So basically, the data is coming from the OData only. So
Hmm.
initially, we display which friends.
Okay, which,
I think
yeah.
this is replicated, I think. Initially we discussed which friends, but it's a lengthy process. We need to add step by step. Multiple things we
Right,
need to
right.
add. In the chart creation, properties, everything.
Okay.
But now it's deprecated, so now they requested this one. It's a,
Mm-hmm.
some
So what version?
almost 2 years. Yeah, yeah,
What
it's
SAP
almost two
version?
years completed. I'm working on some product only. So
Okay.
so part of thing, most of thing I'm working OData services, but this is a new. So I'm started like a designing part, how exactly we are doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm learning. So I'm learning and doing. So this is my point of view useful for that attending the classes main thing. So
Mm-hmm.
what exactly going? Because of initially we searching code here and we find out some code, but how exactly we are using that is I don't know. Now I am able to know, okay, this is the properties we can use. So multiple things. So
Right,
I
right.
need this one also like if you have time. So once our UI5 part is completed, so we need to discuss how exactly we need to check smart chart like you told, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I need this one also. Avik.
Yeah, okay, okay, okay. I'll help you in this also. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
We'll
Yeah.
go step by step.
Yeah, sure, Avik. Yeah, sure. So it's not, it's a time was there. So I need to learn step by
Actually,
step
when
only.
it comes to charts now, so we have to do a lot of R&D analysis because
Yeah,
the
that is
charts
true.
are it one kind of a tricky thing.
Yeah,
It
still
also
I'm,
depends on the data, how the data comes.
yes. So it's a sample data only. So here, so but we data coming from only O data, sir. Multiple data are coming, not single.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to
So
add, like we need
we'll
to,
see, Srinivas. Don't worry on that. We'll see how to
yeah,
bind the data
sure,
because
Avik.
uh, for binding the charts, it's a very complicated task.
Yeah, okay, Avik. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions apart from this, Srinivas?
Actually, I also need to practice yesterday today's session because
Okay.
yesterday I late jam due to some personal.
Yeah, right, right,
So
right.
this week I will complete that task. I need to check that video also, yesterday video. So apart
Okay.
from this, previous tasks are completed. Week.
Okay. So it is helping you, right, to gain the knowledge?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So let me
Yeah.
know if you need any help. Okay.
Sure. I will ping. I will reach to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So other guys, are you practicing it right now? So what about other guys? You want to ask any questions? We have half an hour. We can discuss the questions if you want, if you have any.
I will
Hello.
actually need to practice it. Actually, I really don't actually.
Avik, one question, Avik.
Hello.
Avik, Srinivas here. One question.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Tell me, Srinivas.
What is the user neo.js? Avik? Neo.js.
Okay. Neo app.json, right?
Yeah.
Neo app.json is generally it contains the same thing like manifest.json, but it's only related to some configuration part. But we never use it actually in real case. Okay, it generally contains all the resource routes navigations only. We have one concept, right? Routing with navigations.
Yeah,
So in
that is
that routing with
bootstrap things, right?
navigations, yeah,
Boot-
bootstrap things like.
Okay. And one more question. So I hear one what is called UI5 adaptation.
Adaptation. Okay.
So what is the, and like some demos are going on. So client mentioned kind of some adaptation, UI5 adaptation. I hear
UI,
first time.
UI5 adaptation, but what they want in a UI5 adaptation? There are so many.
Basically, I want what is in exactly we are doing when we are doing the adaptation from UI5. That is I need to understand.
Maybe you need to ask to your client specifically what they want actually, what they want to adapt in the UI5, because there are so many things we can do in UI5, like we can adapt the third-party APIs, we can integrate the cards. So many things are available now.
Okay, so it's a kind of integration purpose we are using adapter.
Yes, yes, integration.
Oh.
It's kind of an integration only. Maybe
Okay,
they want
actually,
to just
so
enhance their project.
they are displaying this one Adobe form in front end level. So it's a commercial invoice, that is the one Fury I'm going on. So backend OData service trigger, front end they print the one print preview. So they the print preview at same time a backend that OData service trigger that Adobe form displaying the Fury. So in that concept they mentioned some adaptation. So that's why I here first time so how exactly doing for the adaptation. So it's kind of integrated with any third party tool or any even though or SAP tool also.
Okay, so one thing, tell me that so this add-on forms, one print preview is coming, right? When you
Yeah.
in the front end. So
Yes.
tell me one thing, that are this the whichever the form, it is been created in a front end or a back end?
It's coming back. It's a standard Adobe form. They configure, but they're mapping with the one print preview button. Then click the in front end one print preview button. So it automatically like displaying the some Adobe form like a PDF format in front end.
Okay.
So in that time, like they mentioned, like we already successfully did some adaptations also. That's why it's displaying perfectly even though in mobile and tab, desktop, regular application, like he mentioned.
That only it's just kind of integration only with the third-party tools.
Okay. Fine.
So
Yeah,
only
that is
things
all.
with the UI5, means actually it seems like a small, but it's a very huge.
That is true. Okay, Avik, I will start working on like yesterday today's session. So if anything I have doubts, like I will ping to you. So I know that some topics, Avik. I completely not working in all areas. I know some topics in EFI level. So in case anything I need, I will ping.
That's not at all to worry, Srinivas, because see, once you started to work on this UFA projects, you will definitely gain more and more knowledge, because it all depends on the experience only.
Yeah.
Depends on the work also that you get from your client or from your organization.
Yes.
Only this why you joined this course, because as a basic you just need to know all these concepts, so you can these concepts will help you to implement all the
No,
features.
yes, sir. And one more thing, Avik. So where exactly we are using for particular some methods. So what is the purpose? I search in Google, so many things are coming, but I don't know exactly what this is the purpose we are using. Now I am learning. I am step by step. Okay. For example, let's say live change method. So live change method is using multiple scenarios and multiple cases. But what is exactly functionality? Today we understood. I understood. So this is the purpose we are using.
Right.
It can be XML view, it can be controller levels, it's possible to always.
Yes, possible. Why I'm mostly focusing on the controllers also, because generally in normally courses nobody covers the controller part, and the controller part is very crucial, because the
Yeah.
controller, it is a place that you can do anything, and that things are not possible at all at the view level, at the XML level. So that's why the controller is important. So I'm totally focusing on the controller. So because once you are clear with the JavaScript code, then you can do anything.
Okay, fine. So, in case anything I will think you.
Yes,
We need
you
to
can
discuss.
ping me. We still have some time.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you can practice at now, means as of now, and just ping me, okay, if you need anything.
Yeah, sure.
Then maybe we can we'll close this call around 8 only. So what about
Yeah.
others? Ganesh, Kiran, Pawan, Prem, Akash.
Actually, I need to watch yesterday's and today's video again and practice it. So I'll be asking you questions in weekdays actually.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure, Ganesh, no problem. What about Kiran, Pawan, Prem, and Akash?
Yeah, I need to still work on the yesterday's assignments as well. So if I take doubts or queries, I will get back to you.
Okay, sure, Pawan. Yeah.
Yeah,
Prem.
same here, Avik.
Okay.
Same here, sir. Need to practice more.
And please inform me, okay, if you need any help, and in case if something is not clear, just ping me, okay, or just inform me.
Yes, sir.
After weekend will ping you. Actually, I'm practicing and watching this video, but not getting too much time. So once we'll do that, then we'll ping you if any queries there.
Yeah, sure, Prem, sure. Please
Yeah.
do, okay? If you need help,
Yeah.
please do.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, let's be in call, and we'll close this call around 8, okay? So I'll be on mute. And if anyone has any questions, you guys can please help each other, okay? So that will also help you to practice the knowledge, okay?
Oh.